All right, come in there in 5 seconds.
Saturday morning, there was a special breakfast held at Calhoun City. Due to other obligations, we couldn't be there, but we've asked Mr. Paul Lowe, a member of the County School Board, to sit in today and help us go over just a little bit of what was covered in the breakfast and let you know how things stand in the situation involved with the breakfast. Mr. Lowe, if you will, tell us just first of all what the purpose of the breakfast was.
Gene, the breakfast was sponsored by the Calhoun City Rotary Club, and the purpose of it was to allow the people who vote and have a place of representation with their senator and their representatives to come and have them appear before them and explain what's going on in the legislature, which is in session in Jackson right now.
Okay, who were the officials that were present for the breakfast?
Gene, Senator Jack Gordon, who represents Senatorial District Number 8, was there and also covers a portion of Calhoun County, and Representative Don Griss, who is District 23 representative and covers all of Calhoun County, were the attendees.
Okay, I'm sure the schools and I believe we mentioned earlier that maybe the prison system was involved in the discussions that morning. If you will, just tell us a little bit about what the discussion did center around and the difference of opinions that were brought out.
Right, Gene. The school situation was a primary discussion, and let me say we had a tremendous attendance. And the primary discussion was around House Bill number 4, which was passed during the special session held in December. And some of the special sections of this bill was discussed and how they would affect the school system we are presently involved in Calhoun County. Also, the prison system was discussed, and it was pointed out that it cost the taxpayers of this state more money to incarcerate a prisoner in Parchman for 1 year than it does to send a child to one of the state-supported universities such as Mississippi State or Ole Miss. Also, highways were discussed, and discussed how this money, how the highway money is appropriated, and what priority roads take, and you know, some roads take priority over other roads, and what the position, because the legislature does set the priorities.
All right, if you will, I know one of the big issues that we hear talked about around locally would be centered around the school issue. If you will, tell us just a little bit about what Bill 4 that you mentioned and the other measure involved just in general, and why the two officials there took the positions they do on the matter.
Right. We had a split position with the officials there. Senator Gordon voted for House Bill 4. Representative Griss voted against it. House Bill 4 contains a lot of sections, the primary section being that of statewide kindergarten, compulsory school attendance, and teacher pay raises. And also something that might affect the people of Calhoun County was a consolidation, a study of consolidation of school districts and attendance centers. Senator Gordon explained that he took the position that he did because he felt like there was portions of the bill that were tremendously important to the state of Mississippi to get it off the bottom of the economic ladder. We're 50th in the parade of states, if that's something to brag about. He felt like education would be the starting place. So he didn't let the bad parts of the bill outweigh the good parts. Representative Griss voted against House Bill number 4, and he explained that he was not against teacher pay raises, but that during these economic times when Calhoun County is experiencing a 13% unemployment rate, also the increase in taxes, House Bill 4 contained a provision of 0.5% increase in sales tax, commencing, I believe it is, in January of 1984, and also an increase in personal income tax of 1% on people earning in excess of $20,000. He felt like this was contributing to the hard times, therefore he voted against House Bill 4. It's a consensus, I think, of the people there. The greatest concern we experienced there was a concern in the bill which gives the State Department of, the Educational Finance Commission the authority to do a study on school consolidation. Now, Senator Gordon's position is that we can always review this in the Senate, or the legislature will have the final say-so whether there's school consolidation. Now, to explain this a little bit, the state of Mississippi has, I forget the exact number of school districts, but there's 5 different kinds of districts that operate. Some of the various kinds are a county system, which we have made up. You have a separate municipal school district. You can have a municipal and a consolidated land school district in the same county. To give you, for example, Chickasaw County has a county system, a Houston Municipal School District, and an Oklahoma Municipal School District. So they have 3 kinds of school districts there. There's different sets of laws that govern all school districts. If you have one kind, then you get a different set of laws. If you have a separate municipal, it's a different set of laws. And this was pointed out So the Educational Finance Commission has been asked to do a study. What concerns Calhoun County and the taxpayers of Calhoun County is this. We are spending right now $3.5 million plus in building a new high school at Bruce, a new high school at Calhoun City, and a major renovation at Vardaman. The question was posed to these same men in January of 1982, is there any consolidation in the future? At that time, it was asked to Senator Gordon. He did not respond. The problem we have with it then, we could have wasted our money, if you follow what I'm trying to say, and we're very concerned about this. And there has been a bill introduced by Senator Thams down there, Senate Bill number 2341, which would delete the requirement for a consolidation study. Again, it's Senator Gordon's feelings that they would always have the final say-so. The consensus, I think, of most of the people there Saturday morning was, what if Senator Gordon doesn't get elected and go back down there, you know, what position does that put Calhoun County in? It was also brought out by one of the people in attendance there that Calhoun did what they had to do in 1953. I could be wrong there. That was 30 years ago. They said that took care of everything. What happened 30 years ago could be outdated today, and with one stroke of the pen, the governor's pen, it could change everything. So this is where the primary concern lay in education, is the fact of the consolidation issue and the fact that the taxpayers have made a tremendous investment in Calhoun County. One of the greatest things I know that can happen to the school system, and what if we've done it and the legislature changed it and says that won't work, you've got to have this. And this is where it rests, and I think the people there are pushing to have Senator Gordon. I think Representative Grist does support removal of the consolidation thing. Senator Gordon said he'd vote as his committee voted. I think the feeling of the people there was, we don't really care how the committee votes. We want you to vote how your constituents at home feel you should vote, or the people elect, you know. And I think the thing is, they want him to support Senate Bill 2341.
Okay, moving on, you mentioned the prison system. I know we hear a lot of talk about overpopulation in the prisons in relation to the satellite facilities around the state. What were the points that they brought out as far as their feelings about the prison system and the different problems facing it?
The biggest point pointed out by the people in attendance there is I think they're looking now at building a separate prison facility, maybe down somewhere close to the coast. When you do this, they're talking about right now the president's legislature is talking about issuing bonds. As with the prison system, the same thing holds true for the Calhoun County school systems, or Calhoun County's bond issue. To issue bonds, you pay back $1 in interest for every $2 you get to use. So you really don't get your full value that you're using. The second thing pointed out was that if we go down there and build one in the south end of the state, then that creates a necessity of having two administrative situations. You know, there's a lot of duplication of administration, and this was pointed out when we already have a facility over at Parchman that could take care of this. Now, I think the ultimate thing that would be the hazard, and this was pointed out by Senator Gordon, would be if the federal judges or federal courts handed down a ruling and said, all right, you've got to have it. Because our county jails, which now presently house some state prisoners, are inadequate. They're out of the court order, which says that you have to have so many cubic feet per man. We're just out of that all the way. And this is where the concern lay. Another concern lay, and this was an interesting side point brought out, was the fact that we need stiffer drunk driving laws. All right, if we stiffen these up and people begin to serve time, then we can really get in the crunch. Now, the opposite side of the bond issue to build a prison came when it was suggested that we raise a certain type of tax and get it over with and get it done with. Representative Grist says we could do it. We could raise that tax, generate enough revenue in a short period of time, and maybe in a year or year and a half, and be done with it. The same thing is true with that kind of tax as would be with a sales tax placed on it for education. Do we ever remove a tax once we get it on? It seems to always stay. So that was basically what was discussed about prisons and the overcrowding.
Okay, you mentioned taxes, and that brings me to the next point I wanted to talk about just a little bit, the highway situation. I know certain areas in the state have had great improvements, you might say, in their highway programs, and other areas maybe some of the rural areas, not so much improvement. And we know about the gas taxes being added to us, and that's supposed to help with the road situations. What were some of the feelings on this?
Gene, I think the feeling here was that we do know the state of Mississippi spent approximately $750,000 to do a study, a feasibility study, to determine if the present system we have of electing 3 highway commissioners was still valid or whether it was outdated. Presently, Mississippi is the only state that still has an elected highway commission. Okay, the highway commission does not determine the roads now. The state legislature sets a priority on roads and funds the money, and the highway commission becomes, or the commissioner becomes, a keeper of the money to see that it gets done. All right, it's determined that this may not be the most feasible way, because if he has a priority, then what somebody wants in North Mississippi might not be what somebody wants in South Mississippi. We get into this same thing of, instead of for the good of the whole state, we're pulling against each other. And the consensus here was we needed better roads. It was also pointed out, I believe, that $62 million will come into the state of Mississippi from the nickel a gallon increase in fuel tax. It's also pointed out that we may never feel the nickel a gallon increase because the price of gas is declining on a daily basis, and it's going down to where people will never have to pay that, or never realize they're paying it. You might say they'll have to pay it. So it was determined that the priority ought to be on getting a system together that would take care of all the roads, secondary and primary roads.
All right, what do you think was the attitude, what were the feelings of the people that attended the breakfast after it was over?
I think the attitudes there was some were still had some reservations about it, especially the school situation. Let me say there was a bill introduced by Representative Grist and Representative Blunt from South Mississippi. There would be a statewide 4-mill property tax levied, and this would build all future schools. It would prohibit a county school district or a county board of supervisors from ever having another bond issue for the purpose of constructing schools. In the meantime, what it would do then, it would take the present, Calhoun County, I believe, has 93 or 98 mills, I'm not sure just what. But out of that 93 or 98, 28 mills, 25 mills goes to the operation of the schools, 3 mills goes to retirement of a previous bond indebtedness, and approximately 22 to 25 mills right now is retiring the school bond indebtedness. For this 4 mills that would be issued, they would take over the bonded indebtedness, and so it would be a benefit to Calhoun County because we would remove 25 mills that's used to pay for these new buildings and only pay 4 mills. This has been introduced. It was introduced last year. This year it was reintroduced by Representative Grist. Both Representative Grist and Representative Gordon, I believe, are going to support this, and Senator Gordon are going to support this bill. We need this bill because it's only fair. The natural resources of this state lay all over the physical lands. What they're saying is if it's an oil refinery in South Mississippi that's using natural resources, that child in South Mississippi that has an adequate education, they should be willing to pay to share the same kind of facilities to give the child in North Mississippi the same kind of education, which I strongly support. I believe we ought to offer every child in this state an equal opportunity to the same kind of education. And this is what we're saying, to bring it down to a closer level. If you and I go down to Jackson and buy something and pay tax in Hinds County, and part of that money goes to educate the children of Hinds County, even though I'm from Calhoun, no benefits ever derived to send back up here except in an indirect way. And this is the point of this bill, and it's an interesting bill, and I'd be anxious to see, because what's happening goes back to the same thing. $1 interest for every $2 invested, and we're not getting our money's worth, where this way there would never be any more indebtedness. It would all be on the state, and it'd come out of a 4-mill property tax assessment. I think the attitude of the people out of the whole breakfast was good. They seemed to enjoy meeting with the congressman and the representative and senator, and I don't know about them. They seem to think they might have been under the gun. I don't know, but I think you have to pay that price if you're going to represent the people. You've got to be under the gun to do it. And all in all, I'd say it was a good session. They understand how the people feel here. But I did understand that there's some follow-up meetings planned with some individuals to really get the message home, maybe by lobbying in the legislature and maybe also by conducting some petition drives to let them really know what the feelings are.
Okay, I want to thank you for stopping by and talking to us. I hope maybe through this talk that we've had today, we've brought a little better understanding, a little clearer understanding about these 3 issues and how they affect this area, this county in general, We've heard a lot of talk about it, and we'll try to keep you posted on the updates and more information as we get it concerning these issues. Again, I want to thank Mr. Lowe for stopping by, and thank you for tuning in. Gene Redwine, TV7 News. With me today is a lady that I know only as Grandma. We're going to let her introduce herself to you a little bit more, tell you where she's from. If you've been watching Channel 7, you may know her as the Singing Grandma or Grandma Santa Claus or by any other variety of names. I do know for a fact that she'll be hosting a children's show here on TV7 Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock beginning this Saturday, and you want to be sure and tune in for it. We'll let her talk to you just a little bit about who she is, where she's from, and what kind of show she's got in mind, Grandma.
My name is Mary Sachs, and I live at 5564 Winterwood in Walls, Mississippi. And I have a variety of things kind of involved with us right now. And we're going to start out with just a few of the little Muppets. And we've got one with us here. And he's going to be a special little fella. He's going to be talking to the children, and he'll tell them all his little secrets. I won't tell any of them, because he wouldn't be very happy about that. He's just, don't you think he's cute?
Oh, it really is. Sure. That's nice. Tell me, we were talking earlier about your puppets. How do you come by them?
My son makes them. He makes all the good ones. If there's any bad ones, Grandma makes them. But I'm really proud of him because he makes it closer to my heart. And then I use them for my boys and girls. That makes it real close. But I do want to say this. Boys and girls, you must look in and see all the little Muppets and hear them sing and hear the little things they have to say to you. And Grandma loves you. God loves you. And we just want you to listen to us and enjoy our show. Write us a card and a letter and let us know if you like us, because we want to know. You want to know, boys and girls, if Mom and Daddy loves you and everybody loves you, don't you? Well, see, that's the way I am, and that's the way my little Muppets are. They like to know they're loved, too. How about that? If this gentleman here will, I would love to say this. Grandma's going to be at Water Valley Saturday night, and I understand some of the fellers are going to be there.
That's true. Some of the crew here from TV7 will be there. In fact, I think they may be doing a little singing or something over that way.
Oh,
and,
good.
We're looking forward to the show being rebroadcast here on TV7, as well as your show with the Muppets, and I'm really looking forward to it. The show will center around them. Why don't you let this little fellow here do a little talking for us before we go?
Are you scared? Why don't you talk to the boys and girls? Talk to them.
Hello, boys and girls out there in TV land. My name is Marvin, and I will be your special host and MC. Okie dokie. And you'll love my grandma. She's fantastic, honey. Ooh, until Saturday morning, boys and girls. Love you. Be good.
All right. Thank you, Grandma, and we're looking forward to it. Tune in, remember, Saturday morning, 9 o'clock for Grandma and her Muppets. I know you're going to like it. This is Gene Redwine, TV7 News. With me today is Mr. Bob Singleton. He's a vocational rehabilitation counselor, and we want to talk to him just a little bit. and get some more information on this. Mr. Singleton, tell us exactly what vocational rehab is and what are your objectives?
Vocational rehabilitation is a state agency, Gene, and it's under the Department of Education. Our objectives are to serve the handicapped people of Mississippi and help them to return to active employment.
Okay, you say handicapped. Let's go into that just a little bit more and tell us who is eligible here and who is not.
We only work with handicapped adults. We work with handicapped adults as opposed to the children of the state. We don't work with children, only the people who are of an employable age. You have to be unable to perform your job activities, and we must think that we can provide some service that would help you return to active employment.
All right, what kind of services do you give to the people to provide this?
Primarily, we provide medical services, that is hospitalization, surgery. We purchase artificial limbs, physical therapy, anything like this. Also, we help with transportation. We help with training, vocational training, sometimes college training, on-the-job training. We help with counseling and guidance, and just anything that we can do to help a handicapped person get back into employment.
All right, how much of this area do you cover with your position?
I only serve Yallowbush and Calhoun counties, have been for the last 10 years.
All right, how are referrals made to you?
Anyone can make a referral to vocational rehabilitation, but primarily the doctors, the hospitals in the community, the workman's compensation, the welfare department, former clients that we have worked with, just anyone in the community, sometimes lawyers, anyone can make a referral to vocational rehab.
Okay, serving 2 counties, I guess you probably move around a good bit, but do you have an office as such?
We don't have a full-time office in Calhoun County. We do come to the health departments in Bruce and also Calhoun City, that is. We come to Bruce on Thursday afternoons. We get here about 2 o'clock and stay until 3 or so. And on Monday afternoons, we go to Calhoun City, and we're there at the health department from about 1 o'clock until 2:30 or so. We do have a full-time office in Yallowbush County in Water Valley for the clients there.
All right, do you have a phone number where you can be reached there?
Yes, the phone at Water Valley is 473-1651. The address at Water Valley, of course, is Vocational Rehabilitation, Post Office Box 605, Water Valley, 38965 is the zip code.
Okay, Mr. Singleton, it sounds like a real good program, and we want to encourage you people that if you or anyone you know could use these services, to feel free to contact Mr. Singleton in any of the ways or areas that he has notated here today. Okay, we want to thank you for stopping by and talking to us. This is Gene Redwine, TV7 News.
We had some good basketball tonight, even though y'all lost. You know, I went to high school at Bruce and been around Vardaman all my life, and Vardaman's always had good basketball. But I believe y'all are the shortest basketball team I've seen at Vardaman in a long time. You play good basketball. Each one of you played a good basketball. And your name?
Morgan Spencer.
Morgan, what do you think about this basketball? You love the sport?
I love it, but I wish we had some tall people to go along with us.
Well, it helps, doesn't it?
It sure does.
You played a good ball game. I believe your name is Emma.
Mm-hmm.
I remember some of them, but sometimes I can't. What grade are you in?
10th.
10th grade?
Yes.
Well, you liable to be all-state before you get out of high school, aren't you?
I'd like to.
We hope you are anyway, because we like good basketball in Calhoun County, don't we?
Yes, sir.
And we hope that y'all continue. How many more games do you have?
About 6 or 5.
I believe the district tournament's in February, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And so, what's your name?
Angie Harden.
Angie Harden. You like this basketball?
Yeah.
What grade you in?
9th.
9th grade. Whose daughter are you?
James K.
James K. And your name?
Hope Mitchell.
Hope Mitchell. And Hope, I guess it called you the quarterback, wouldn't it?
I
You
guess
handle
so.
the basketball out front, do a good job. Like the rest of the girls said, you need some height to get
Yes,
in there.
sir,
If y'all had one about the size of Easley, you'd be all right, wouldn't you?
Oh,
If you had-
that'd make us, we'd go all the way with that.
Well, when y'all hear this now, this is about my second or third game to do on the air. So if I call you somebody else, don't think anything about it. Or if I don't call your name enough, don't think about it. What grade are you in?
I'm in 11th.
11th? Well, you got another year. You might grow a little bit. You like this basketball?
Yeah, I think these girls are really good.
I tell you what, all of you act like you like it because you play real hard. Hope, what grade are you in?
Junior.
Junior. Well, maybe y'all all be around. What grade did you say you was in?
11th.
11th? Well, there's not any seniors in this crowd, so maybe y'all will grow a little bit. Maybe I'll put you on weights like on the football team, reckon? No, I wouldn't think so. That wouldn't be very ladylike, would it? So I thank y'all for coming, and I appreciate it. And we enjoyed being in y'all's gym, and y'all come to see us sometime, and we'll let you be on television.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye. We just had an interview with the Vardaman girls, and there's good sports. They played hard, and I enjoyed talking with them, and they're good basketball players. And this is Grady Ferguson on the mic trying to do the play-by-play, and David Doss with a camera, and we will sign off for tonight and break off and go home and in this bad weather and get off of Channel 7 Sports. Gosh, dog. Mr. Mayfield, if you will, just tell us a little bit about what inspired the boycott here in Houston.
Well, basically, we're looking at a town that where blacks have been discriminated against in several areas for a number of years. And the event that more or less inspired them to come out on this particular occasion was the Warren Cousin case. Basically, the district court had ruled in favor of Warren Cousin, and the school board had decided that they would appeal the case back to the Fifth Circuit for the second time. The community decided that that would indeed be a waste of taxpayers' funds. It would serve no useful benefit, and the only reason that they were appealing the case back was because Warren Cousin is black. After the community met on several occasions, they decided to broaden the issues and to go beyond the school board issues to city and county jobs, as well as jobs with the private sector.
Okay, roughly how many businesses are involved in the boycott?
Currently, we are boycotting about 70 or 75 businesses. We are only shopping at 11 businesses right now.
Since the boycott was begun, have you had any changeovers from any of the earlier positions that some of them may have taken?
We've had some of the businesses that have come around now and fill out the surveys that they did not fill out in the beginning. We are going to meet with these businesses, but in the meantime, they are still boycotted. We are going to reevaluate our position after a 2-week period, and on February 25th, we'll start a new list, new businesses that may be boycotted and new businesses where blacks may be able to shop.
Okay, you mentioned the survey. I've been following the story a little bit, and I know kind of what you're talking about as far as the survey. Would you care to explain a little bit of that to the viewers?
Basically, the purpose of the survey was to get a feel for how different businesses feel about blacks working in their particular establishments, as well as how they feel about blacks working in county and city jobs and in the school system. We had asked them specifically would they be in support of various affirmative action plans? And the stores that responded favorably, we did not extend the boycott to them. The ones who did not respond or responded unfavorably, they are being boycotted.
Okay, have you noticed, is there any kind of tension amongst the citizens here in regard to your boycotting?
There's very little tension that I've noticed